Looks like it's time to put an air filter in the truck. Here we got a 2012 Ford Expedition. He's got a V8 in them. They're all the same. This entire part of the air intake system here, we got to remove this cover, take off a screw back here. You don't really need to remove this wire that goes to the, I believe, mass airflow sensor or something like the mass airflow sensor, because it can just be moved out of the way carefully. We're going to take loose these spring clips down here and take care of that. So here we go. There's 3 spring clips down here on the bottom. There we go. Spring clips are loose. The tip here is there's always crud built up in here, leaves and stuff like that that'll fall down in your housing. You have to get them out later. So if you can, blow them out now with compressed air, something like that. And always use a true Ford part. The Motorcraft part here is FA1883. The real Motorcraft stuff. And these can be pricey from some places like Ford or what have you, but not necessarily. Ford will often price match. And so ask your local Ford parts guy if he'll price match. Go online and see what you got. Typically, the cheapest place is going to be, and here we want to bend this up just a little bit. There we go, it's loose. Typically, cheapest place is going to end up being an auto parts store like AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts, because they give you some big coupons. I went online and you'll get a 20% coupon for doing just about anything. But let me see here, I'm pulling it loose from these hinges back here. But it turns out they also offered me a 25% coupon. Here's the old filter coming out. By observation, you can see already it's discolored and it's got quite a bit of dirt up in it. There's quite a bit of dirt up in here. This thing needs to go. They don't recycle, we just throw them away. Now here, you don't want any big stuff down in here. This is where your air intake comes in through this pipe down here. That's where your air comes in. You don't want any leaves and junk like that in here. But this is the dirty side. So it's going to come up and hit the air filter and then go into your air intake and on into your engine and fuel injectors, that sort of thing. So there's some drain holes down there in the bottom. You want to make sure those drain holes, drain hole here, you want to make sure those drain holes are clear so the water will drip out of this thing. The top part's all clean as a whistle. That's what you want. This is going to seal up tight. You want it really good and clean, like an operating room clean, so your engine doesn't get destroyed. Okay, I just took this out of the box. New filters are coming in a plastic bag that is completely sealed. If yours is not completely sealed, you might want to look at getting one that is. Here's your Ford part number and whatever from this. And there you can see it's an FA1883. That's a real Motorcraft part, and that's what it should look like. You're not getting some sort of bootleg part or part that's actually not what it claims to be. It's pretty common on parts these days coming out of China that are not real parts, but this is the real thing. So we're going back in with it. And here we're going to have metal side up. You can see the fins go below. Metal side up. Everything fits tight. There's no gap here anywhere along the sides. You don't have a piece of crud in there letting air get under. If air gets under this edge, you're not getting the job done. You might as well not do this. Make sure you don't have anything to keep this rubber seal from fitting snugly and airtight. Here we've tucked the 3 different little tabs into the holes. We've still got the wire connected here. Didn't have to disconnect the wire. If it's too tight, follow the correct procedures for disconnecting that wire, or you will break that clip off. There's little clips you have to push on this to get the wire off. Here we're going back into this snorkel fitting on the air intake. This air intake looks really weird, and the reason is parts like this and even this back here and this over here and that over there, they don't do anything functional. They're just resonators. I'm going to put the clip on down here, make sure we got it good tight, and 3 clips pop right on there. And so those bumps, those resonators on that air intake don't go anywhere. They're just shaped like that to make the engine sound quieter, and that's it. Boy, some things are easier to do when you're not holding the camera. Okay, all 3 clips are now tightly in place. You can check them, you can wiggle this, make sure it's good and tight. If we've done all that, it's time to get in here. Alright, that's on good. This isn't loose. Your clips are in place, they're all tight. Really did get these 3 tabs tucked in well. Everything's good and tight. We're done. So that's it on installing Motorcraft FA1883 Ford Motorcraft Air Filter 2012 Ford Expedition.